Good evening, viewers. We are here on Clearance TV. Today we will bring you an important event that will take place here in Kribi. The newly elected moderator of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroun, Right Reverend Miki Hans, will be visiting Kribi during Easter. This is the first congregation he is paying an evangelistic visit since he was elected. He took over from Rev Fonki Samuel, who served as the moderator for 8 years. He was sworn into the office in the month of December. And here we have with us Rev Wingo Justine. He is the general overseer of the Kribi parish. Pastor, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Just to throw more light on it, the Kribi parish is made up of 3 congregations. That is P.C Kribi, Presbyterian Church Sukapam Cam 1, Presbyterian Church Sukapam Cam 5, and also 2 prayer cells, that is Pangu prayer cell and the Kilombo prayer cell. He is also accompanied here by the chairperson of the Kribi congregation. Good evening, sir.
Thank you. Good evening.
The moderator of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon decided to pay an evangelistic visit here in Kribi, and it is his first time he's going out for an evangelistic visit. How did you feel when you got the message to you, Reverend?
Yeah, thank you so very much for the question. I think if we were to go into the mind, into the world of Zacchaeus, how when he climbed the sycamore tree, and then a lot of people, the crowd people were struggling to, to see Jesus. Looking at Zacchaeus on the tree, first and foremost, he saw himself as someone who was not qualified, he didn't merit, seeing Jesus or for Jesus to call him. But you see Jesus Christ, when he noticed him on the tree, he said, Zacchaeus, come, for today I'm going to dine with thee today. So you can imagine the joy that was in the heart of Zacchaeus. Because first and foremost, within that time, people like that who were tax collectors, they were looked upon like people who were not privileged, to come near Jesus. But you see, when this program came up and my Presbyterian secretary, Reverend Jongai Polycarp Besha, Presbyterian secretary for East Mongo North Presbytery, he called me and said, Reverend, have you checked on the official program of the moderator? I said, no, I haven't, I have no idea. So he said, check very quickly, very smartly. So the moderator has chosen Kribi as his very first place to visit after his institution and induction. And I said, wow, like seriously, looking at us, we looking at ourselves, our capacity. In the P.C.C. we have greater congregations. You can talk about congregations like Bonamusa D, Basto, there are so many. I was like, why did the moderator not choose this particular congregation, but he decided to come to us, Little Kribi? So I saw myself and ourselves like Zacchaeus, where we were like not privileged, but he decided to choose us. So we have been very, very, in brief, we have been very, very much excited and overwhelmed with extreme joy to say, wow, people who are not worthy to untie the laces of the moderator, who is the icon of the P.C.C., that he has given us such a privilege for us to partake in untying the laces of his sandals. So we only say glory to God for this wonderful favor and for this wonderful privilege by our Right Reverend Moderator, uh, Miki Hans Abia. So it is an honor. It's a privilege.
And to you, the chairpersons of the Kribi congregation, how actually do you feel when you heard the message?
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I was so impressed. When we got the message, it was like a joke. But after seeing the official documents that were sent to us, we had to believe it. And it was a joyous thing.
Yeah.
We welcomed it because we were not expecting, but it came like a surprise. And we are so privileged hosting somebody of that caliber, the highest authority of the church,
Mm.
coming to a small creed. So we count ourselves so lucky to host this kind of a person in our congregation. So I was so happy.
Okay, still on that, to you, Reverend, can you actually guess what triggered him to choose Kribi for his first outing?
Yes, sometimes it's very, very difficult to predict. But one thing I can only um, try to picture what might have triggered him. It's a very technical question. But again, I remember, that when people gather together, especially in occasions like we have people of the various age groups, especially in the ministry. One day I was discussing with one of my colleagues, and she told me that, you see, this our father, the Right Reverend Miki Hans Abia, is that kind of a man who loves a lot of surprises. So she has been the pastor of one little tiny congregation like that. And one Sunday, while they were in the service, she saw somebody entering the church. And then she realized that he was the moderator, the Right Reverend Miki Hans Abia. So she was confused. All the elders were confused and everyone in the congregation because they were like asking themselves, why would a man of that capacity, a caliber and timber, would just come and surprise them? It was like the highest humility of the highest degree. So to me, I can say that what triggered him is his person. Yes, his person. And when I talk about his person, I begin to talk about his humility. From this particular visit, and we can begin to see that he is that kind of a servant leader. He's more of a servant leader who does not only measure and has his focus, on very top-ranking congregations within and without the P.C.C, but someone who is ready to carry along everybody, whether big or small. So I feel that it is a mark of humility. And then the other part of it is that you know that God works through men. And uh, God has already structured a lot of things in such a way that it is more like a replay of how much he has already programmed. I will tell myself that, like, if God has really favored, us, Kribi parish, Kribi congregation, to see the Right Reverend Miki Hans Abia, he has to come to Kribi to celebrate the Easter Sunday with us. I think he only needs to accept that a particular calling. And we thank God because he is such a leader that he is so down to earth and calm. And from our experience, you will see that the man who is at Akwaya and Donga Mandung and other congregations who might have been very small, like Nazareth, they can begin to also be encouraged to know that there comes a time that the moderator can also choose to celebrate a festive moment with them. So we really, I think that everything sums up with his mark of humility.
To you, the chairpersons Do you have any idea of what actually triggered him to choose your congregation?
Well, actually, I might not really know what triggered him to choose my congregation. Like you heard the pastor say, it's humility and being a person that is so simple as he is. He can choose. Remember, the scripture says God chooses to show favor to any person that he desires. So I think it was the will of God that he should choose to visit Kribi on this special day. I think that is how I feel.
And then to add to that a little bit, you know, when I served at the East Mongo South Presbytery, you know, when he served as the Presbyterian Secretary for East Mongo South, one mark which even the man at the grassroots, which they actually felt was his mark of you know you know sometimes an activity like this, you want to carry some things high, you just see him, he just you know, he's just easygoing, he will just be like sometimes we're a little bit embarrassed again. Do you know that when he became a moderator, I was like, I will be so skeptical to call him. Then one day he met me and said, Sango, why is it that you don't even come and say, hey, Daddy, this matter like this, so it is beyond me. He said, no, the fact that I'm moderator, the fact that I'm senior class doesn't mean that you cannot call me. I was rather instead looking at myself like, what kind of a man, a personality is this? So I think some of those experiences, what we are experiencing today in Kribi, it is a mark of really, yes, who he is. And we are happy about it. Yes. And for that matter, we will also be like we are on the spotlight now. Presbyterian P.C Kribi will be on the spotlight. So it's a mark of favor because you see, the national territory, even the diaspora, everybody's eyes will now be focused on Kribi. And I think that is a mark of I think we can put it to say that it is something that he has to enter into the annals of history. Yes, and we are grateful for that.
Okay. How do you think actually that his visit is going to, what impact do you think his visit is going to make in the life of the Christians?
Thank you very much. You see, the moderator, when he took over office, he actually brought out his own team, a kind of a missional statement, which is he prioritizes the strengthening and the edification of the church. He has had a mission of reconciliation, reconciling the various factions within the church. He has a mission of bringing people together, reviving, you know, the souls and the spirits of the Christians of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon. So I think that the blessing which I myself, even the chairman, he should be very happy. The entire parish. I'm not seeing that kind of seeing another new Presbyterian Church Kribi Parish, another new Presbyterian Church Kribi Parish, new Christians after his coming. Because can you imagine that he will be the one to deliver the sermon that day? And I'm sure that with this his mission and his team of strengthening and edifying, I think that he is going to also help to strengthen and to edify the Christians of Kribi Parish. We are waiting anxiously for that strengthening because a lot of Christians, sometimes they are weak, sometimes they have their personal burdens, some might have been having their own issues, but his presence is going to rekindle that spirit of P.C.C and that zeal for them to know that the P.C.C is one, and that is the responsibility of every P.C.C Christian to forge ahead and to work together in promoting the mission of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon. So I think in a nutshell, that is it. There's going to be a new revival in this our parish.
Thank you so much, Reverend Pastor. And this go to the chairperson of the Presbyterian Church here in Kribi. Which particular way or how do you actually want your Christian to be prepared to welcome the moderator?
Actually, my Christians, they are really prepared and they are preparing. Since the very first day we got the information, and let me take you back even to the day he was elected moderator of the P.C.C. The joy that was in the heart of the Christians of Kribi, it shows emotion of support to show that they are really going to work with him. And so when it came again that he was going to visit Kribi, the Christians were so happy. And it's going to be a very joyful event. So his coming is going to be a blessing to us, the Christians of P.C.
And to add to that, administratively, you see there's a lot of, thank you, Chairman, there's a lot of underground work also that is going at the level of, the Ocean Division. So mobilization is taking place at the level of the congregations, the parishes. You see people are putting a lot of energy, people are putting a lot of energy to see that this day, it's a success. And the Right Reverend Moderator, or the PC, he is the icon of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon. And he is like Jesus Christ coming to Jerusalem. And so he is not only coming for the Presbyterian Church, he is coming for the whole of the Ocean Division. So you see people like the administrative heads, traditional authorities, and our fellow brothers and sisters of the other denominations. They are also mobilizing, yes, to welcome our moderator. So in a nutshell, preparation is ongoing. We are just praying and hoping that he's going to have a wonderful stay in Kribi.
Wow, that's so great. And particularly to you, the Reverend, have you been having several occasions where you meet with the moderator face to face and not only making hands?
I think that it's also a very, thank you very much for that question. It's not like I'm just like wondering if this question were asked to a layman who is sitting there in the pews. Yes, I will say that we have had occasions where we've met with the moderator, but I think, but not the face-to-face encounter. We might have met casually. There are occasions where we work at the background. We have our own little responsibilities that we do at the background, maybe organization or putting a few things in order. But sitting to say that, the moderator is coming and then you are hosting the moderator. This is different from meeting in other occasions of the church because it does not concern you. It is a matter of everybody. And there is a committee, a particular people that are, they carry the burden and they carry the bishop. But when they say you are the one now hosting, you are the one now hosting, it paints a different picture now. Yes, because you are the one now at the forefront doing the mobilization. The success of that particular occasion is in your hands. If it fails, you contributed anything. If it succeeds, okay, that is it. So, but what we are saying is that it is first in history, to say we are hosting the moderator, receiving him in that capacity. And more to that, after his institution and induction, this is the first place he chose. At the level of the presbytery, all over, people are asking the question like, how did the moderator come to terms that he will come to Kribi? And I said, me too, I cannot explain, no, because remember, it is a national event. So which means in other words, we are hosting a national event that concerns the moderator. So I think it is first of its kind in history, and we count it at the same time an honor and a privilege. We are trusting God that He who gave us this privilege, He who started this journey, He will take it to completion.
So if I actually hear you very well, this is the first time for you receiving the moderator as the host.
Ah, my brother, first in history. When did I become pastor? Ever since I became pastor, I've never ever in the history. What are we talking about? The moderator was inducted just last month, March. It is still very fresh. And then to hear that it is a first in history. Even the chairman seated here, he himself, you see, he's smiling from bola to bola because he knows that this matter like this is first. And what is giving us joy is the fact that it is going to be registered in the history books of the P.C.C. What about Cameroun? That once upon a time, the moderator of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroun, the Right Rev.Miki Hans Abia, paid a pastoral visit to Kribi, and Rev Wirngo Justine and that Shey Divine, the chairman at the time, were those that played host to his coming. That is it. Our children will be happy. That is it. So we thank God.
Okay, particularly to you, the chairperson of the Kribi congregation, this seems to be the biggest occasion that you will ever organize since you saw him as the chairpersons of the Presbyterian Church here in Kribi. Do you actually see it as an easy task?
Thank you very much. Actually, this is the first occasion that I'm going to host
Of this magnitude.
since I became the chairperson of this congregation at this parish. I believe everything that concerns God must be a success. And me being the chairperson, I have served as elder in this congregation. This is my third mandate. And we have been hosting occasions of this caliber and none has ever failed. So I strongly believe that God, who had always been with us, is still going to see us through. And I am very much confident that we are going to do it in a grand style.
Yeah.
So, can you just maybe, the Reverend Pastor, can you just express your heartfelt and satisfaction towards your Christian whenever an event is ahead of you?
Yes, I think the Christians of Kribi, they have a particular psychology, and that psychology is rare to find in any congregation in the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon. Yes, in all congregations. You know, this congregation has gone through a series of projects, from project to project to project. And shockingly, you will know that there is no project, no matter how it is, that they will not prevail, that they will not realize it. From construction to the hosting of pastors, to the hosting of this, to construction, to the this of this, contributing to this one, and this one is happening like this. They are always there. So in season and out of season, the Christians of Kribi congregation, they have always remained very, very, very active. Yeah, they have injected a particular philosophy also within the other congregations in the parish and the prayer house. So sometimes, even if there is something that concerns the entire parish, they are always the first to show the example, and you find others also copying. So I think I'm very, very satisfied as a chief shepherd of this parish, and I think that Kribi congregation, especially You know that at the head, when you have a visionary leader like the chairperson of the congregation and the divine, he's that kind of a gentleman that as you see him, that is who he is. He is visionary. You hardly have that kind of an encounter where you have the parish pastor and the chairman, they are falling apart and they cannot agree. He is always very down to earth. When something comes up, the congregation has to play a role. He will make sure that he will talk and communicate well. And sometimes the Christians have also bought into his vision. And so if the moderator is coming to, he is really blessed. Because when you see him, you will not believe he's just a small boy. But you see him hosting a very big moderator like that. So I think we drop our heart for the entire congregation, the entire Christians. They are doing so well, and we pray that they should continue in the same capacity, you know, uh, and then putting forth their energy, mobilizing their resources towards the hosting of the Right Reverend Miki Hans, moderator of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroun.
The Presbyterian Church in Cameroon is one of the Protestant churches here in Cameroon. Are other Protestant churches going to be our guests too for that day?
Yeah, that one is more like a rhetorical question. You already know the answer. So you're talking about Protestantism. Yeah, sure. And you know, the outgoing moderator had been the head of the SEPCA. Yes. So he had been coordinating all Protestant churches in Cameroon. And so he had created that particular link where, you know, the Protestant churches, they work together. It was not long that we had the World Day of Prayer. And I think we met at uh, Église African. Yes, I remember that church. Yes. So all of us were there. The Roman Catholic was there. We had a couple of us pastors and priests and the Christians of diverse backgrounds. So we have gone round, we have shared invitations, and we have let them understand the gravity of that occasion. I think in a nutshell, the Protestant churches, even Pentecostal churches around, we are hoping they will be present. Yes. And that is what is going to make the occasion very much colorful. And the bishop of Kribi Diocese, we are also expecting that he will be there. Though it is a very, very charged period, but again, he is aware. And so the churches are harmonizing to come together.
To you, the chairman, we're almost running up already. Do you have actually a particular message to send out, especially to your Christians?
To send out any message to all the Christians of the parish, I just say courage, and may God continue to bless their endeavors. And I know what they have been doing before, they are still going to do it. So as we prepare to welcome our boss of the church, the Right Reverend Wingo Hans Abia, we prepare to welcome him in faith, and we know that everything is going to pass successfully. So I just say courage to my Christians, and I know we're going to do it. Thank you.
Reverend Pastor, you have also the last word.
Yes, to all the Christians of Kribi Parish, most especially the Kribi congregation, the privilege has been given to us. We must be able to prove our worth. The world is waiting and they are watching to see how it's going to be. But we have our trust and our confidence. Together, we shall do it. And at the end of the day, all glory, honor, and adoration will be ascribed to God. Yes.